Welcome back. This is Still the Press, and we're reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. And now we've been joined by our guest, Obadiah Mbila, who's the chairman, Lovewalk Media. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much, Olamide. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome to the program.
It's a pleasure.
And you're looking very sharp this
Yeah,
morning.
I had to borrow some.
You don't look like what the country is actually going through. But
well, I don't know.
But
I said, let me look like them.
That's beautiful.
All right, viewers, be reminded that our phone lines are open for you to call in and make your contributions known during the program.
All right. In an attempt to look like them, we cannot avoid talking
Like
about them. So the APC, the APC, the PDP, the Allied People's Movement, they will all be hoping to be able to sway the judgment of the Supreme Court their way as hearing of the final lap of the Presidential Tribunal begins today. And the PDP, the Labour Party, they will be hoping to challenge the decision of the election petition tribunal that affirmed the victory of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Moving on to the Supreme Court, what are your hopes and expectations considering the fact that the candidate of the People's Democratic Party will be hoping to have his new evidence admitted?
I like that. You call it new evidence.
Yes.
I am not a jurist to know whether it is admissible in the court process to accept new evidence that was not tendered at the tribunal or at the appeal. So my concern really is that issue of certificate forgery somehow is a case against the corporate image of this country. Just as it affects the president, so it affects every Nigerian. You are a suspect out there at the international scene, at the global scene. But I also understand that there are cases that is considered as pre-election issues. And pre-election issues, as it were, are always avoided by the court. The tribunal will always avoid going into pre-election issue. And everything about certification, qualification, and all that in the case of a candidate in an election is usually considered as pre-election matters. Now, I don't know why the experienced politicians like Atiku, etc., still believe that the Supreme Court would consider pre-election matter in this case, maybe because it involves the forgery. So I cannot preempt the outcome of the Supreme Court, but to the best of my knowledge, I do understand that there is always separation of pre-election matters and election matters. In this case, every Nigeria is looking at this matter as whether the Supreme Court is going to invoke the doctrine of necessity to bring in the new evidence that emerged from Atiku's petition.
Talking of this doctrine of necessity you just mentioned, do you think it's possible for that kind of provision to be made within the law, that in situations where more evidences can be provided, then adjustments can be made. After all, some persons make the rule and probably can also bend the rule.
Yeah, that looks like bending the rule, like you said. But I have searched through my records to identify a case that one can make reference to as to when a Supreme Court judges decided to admit fresh evidence, that were not canvassed or tendered at the tribunal. I've not found one. So we all would like to look at the learned lawyers as they argued their case, and then of course the Supreme Court judges to come out with a verdict. I think it will be a step forward for us to learn more, especially those of us that often comment on matters, legal matters, although we are not professional lawyers.
Of course.
Okay, let's say in a situation whereby some legal practitioners have said that the PDP's new evidence, there are certain grounds upon which the Supreme Court might be looking to admit it as a new evidence. I'm talking about under exceptional circumstances, which is at the discretion of the Supreme Court to make. In a situation whereby these new evidences are accepted, what are your expectations at the tribunal? Because at the Supreme Court, because at the tribunal, there's still bulk of Nigerians who believe that justice was not served. There are still a section of Nigerians who believe that a whole lot more that the judges of the Court of Appeal could have done way more better than what we saw in the over 14-hour-long judgments. What I want to know what, as a Nigerian, as a citizen of Nigerian, what your expectations are from the Supreme Court.
Well, you see, Supreme Court is just an arm of government that is in power, and if I, as a Nigerian, I had very high expectation that INEC was going to deliver a credible election, and then while we were expecting the beavers to speak for itself, the national chairman of the INEC went ahead to declare a winner, and then we went to the tribunal. The tribunal knocked off some valid points that were canvassed by the lawyers to Labour Party and lawyers to PDP. All of them were knocked off, and some learned gentlemen came out to declare that the lawyers, both the lawyers to APC and the judges that presided over this matter have turned justice upside down. So, which means we were disappointed at the level of INEC when they were to give us verdict. We were disappointed at the level of the tribunal when they were to give us judgment. We were equally disappointed at the appeal court. So, with all this trend of disappointment, I do not think that the Supreme Court will come out with something that is different from what we have had this far. But one must also admit that the character of the accusation of forgery that is leveled against the president and the commander-in-chief is capable of pulling this country down. It is so scandalous that
when you say it's capable of pulling the country down, you may want to shed some light into it.
You see, it has been a problem to travel with the green passport.
Okay.
To travel outside this country with a green passport, you are a suspect. Now we have moved from the problem of suspecting every Nigerian to where it is now confirmed that one that is being accused of criminality of some sort is presiding and superintending over the affairs of this country. So it has a way it will affect the economy, the Nigerians who want to transact business with other countries, you know, and so on and so forth. So it has a scandalous effect all around against the president, against the country as an entity, against citizens who would like to travel out and do legitimate businesses. You are seen as one from a country that has no rule of law.
Yeah. Funny enough, there's this statement that Afe Babalola made. He says politics is the only thriving industry in Nigeria. So it's looking like that we all have one issues or the other, and especially with the scandal of the certificates now, knowing that the president of the nation is the one whose character is being slandered this much and whom they are assuming has actually forged his certificates. And now I want us to also look at this same issue of Supreme Court justice. They said in this Supreme Court Justice Datijo bows out ahead of Atiku Obi appeal cases on Tinubu. Now, there's this excerpt I want to read out to you because I want to get to your opinion of that. It says, the Supreme Court has seen a reduction in the number of its justices slated to oversee the cases of Atiku, Abubakar, and Peter Obi's suit against the election. It's on the Voice of Liberty newspaper. It says the Supreme Court has seen a reduction in the number of justices slated to oversee the cases of Atiku, Abubakar, and Peter Obi's suit against the election victory of President Bola Tinubu to 10, following the retirement of Justice Musa Datijo Mohammed. So what has this got to do with the final judgment?
Little or nothing. Because the Supreme Court knew before now that Datijo was going to retire.
By 27th. Yes.
They knew. Every of these justices that are presiding over whether Atiku Obi case or any other case knows the date of his or her retirement. Not quite long ago, Amina Ogi retired. That was about 3 weeks ago or so. And then today it is Datijo. I don't think it will impact on the outcome of this case. No, not at all. Yeah, but then the retirement of Datijo also has a way it will affect the activities and the services that the Supreme Court provides, because the number is continually reduces. So people to handle some matters will not be there. So I think it is germane for the chief judge of the federation to move swiftly to appoint new judges to the Supreme Court.
All right, now let's move on to other stories. There's this headline that says Wike clarifies meeting with Israeli envoy as Pandef knocks Gumi. Now, there's this. Let's first of all look at the concept or what's going on between Israel and Hamas. Let's look at that as a focus. What do you think, and what implication do you think it has on Nigeria? Because I'm beginning to see it in a different way. We have it's beginning to stir up some other little pockets of conversations. Yeah. So let's get your thoughts on that.
The crisis in the Middle East will not just affect Nigeria, it will affect the whole world. But it is ignorant that I fear about Nigerians who do not really apprehend or understand what is going on in the Middle East. Some are attributing it to religious thing.
Crisis.
It is not a religious fight that is going on in the Middle East. And I would like the cleric that supposed to be very informed about the situation in the Middle East, for him to know that this is not about Muslims, it's not about Christians, it's not about Judaism, it's about a land. And this land we are talking about is occupied by Muslims, it's occupied by Christians. In fact, most of the ancient Coptic church is found in Gaza. So also the Egyptian Orthodox. I dare say the number of Orthodox Christians in Gaza are probably more than the number of Muslims in Gaza. The other time, they bombed a Coptic church. Israel bombed a Coptic church. About the day before yesterday or so, they also bombed a mosque. So, if a cleric is coming out to speak about this, let him speak from an informed standpoint, not such ignorance that would cause more problems for us in this country. First of all, let the cleric know that the people that occupy the territory in question are either Arab or Jewish. And whether Arab or Jew, none of them have respect for you as a black person. The way the Jews discriminate against the black, so also the Arabs discriminate against the blacks. So who is your brother among the two? Why would you be speaking as if to say, oh, these Arab people, don't touch them, they love me? They don't. They don't. They despise you. They don't believe that you are created with the same content with them. It is the pride of the Arab that makes me wonder whether people who subscribe, maybe because you subscribe to a religion that is headquartered in an Arabic country, then you think that they are with you. They are with you to the extent that it concerns religion. But aside religion, they have nothing to do with you. Now, how are we going to handle it in this country? Are you a Christian? Know it that a Christian is being bombed, is being fought against, is being killed in Gaza. Are you a Muslim? Know it that a Muslim is being fought, is being killed, is being destroyed in Gaza. Therefore, we must approach it not from the religious point of view, but because both religions are traumatized as far as Gaza matter is concerned. We must be very diplomatic in making statements. In fact, it would be wrong for any Nigerian, any African, to take side either for Israel or for Palestinian. Like as I've said before, when you think of the Palestine as a state, you think of a state that is populated more by Christians than Muslims. So these ignorant commentators in Nigeria should please desist from making it look like a religious thing. It has nothing to do with religion, even if there is an undertone, a religious undertone. But the real fact is that Arabians from the Middle East and the Jews from the Middle East are fighting over land. Every other thing is secondary as far as this matter is concerned. And Nigeria should neither take side with the Israelis nor with the Palestinians. We should always appeal for understanding. We should always appeal to the two groups to sheath their sword.
But then now, if we want to appeal to the both groups to be able to meet halfway, now there must be some kind of mediation between both parties, and there must be some form of both parties letting go of some of the things they hold dear to them, and the other party also letting go of some of the things they hold dear to them, because I was speaking with the ambassador, the Palestinian ambassador to Nigeria a few days ago, and he said the only way to be able to reach a middle ground, to be able to have a sustainable peace between Israel and Palestine is for Israel to be compelled to respect the Geneva Treaty, the Geneva Treaty, which Palestine is also signatory to. Now he made a number of allegations that whenever he said prior to the Palestinian attack, the Israeli government have killed about 253 Palestinians, which led to Palestine launching that attack. And he said nobody is talking about it. He also said that the media has been unfair to Palestine all through the course of the conflict between themselves and the Israelis. My two questions now are, do you think the media has been unfair in terms of reportage to the part of Palestine? That's one. And secondly, do you think most times the excesses of the Israeli government gets overlooked by the international bodies such as the United Nations, the American government that has openly declared support for Israel?
Well,
looking at the amount of humanitarian crisis on ground now.
Yeah, the allegation that the media has been unfair to Palestinians might not be wrong, because in the end, who really are controlling the media? Whether it's CNN or Fox News, or so. When you trace the shareholders, you find out that one way or the other they have a link with Israel. So the tendency to blow the trumpet of Israel will always be there, and Israel is linked with almost all the nations of the world apart from Arabian country. So America consider itself part of Israel. UK consider itself part of Israel. So also other European countries. So Israel somehow enjoys the presence of the international community, whereas Palestine does not. However, it's a dicey thing to go into that. But I want to commend the approach of President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa. Yeah. He said he wants to mediate. Man, I like that. I applauded his approach. He's not mediating with a guarantee that the outcome is going to be good, but at least he has taken a position. Yes. And I love his position. His position is, I want to be a mediator in this matter. So, some African countries should buy into that man's type of diplomacy. He did the same thing with Russia and Ukraine. Who are you going to condemn and leave the other? Russia and Ukraine are brothers and sisters, and now they are fighting. You want to side like US have sided Ukraine, or you want to side Russia? No. Continue to approach it with diplomacy, with plead. Please, don't continue this way. Let's go the way of Georgia. Let's not go the way of war.
Let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome to the press.
Yeah, thank you. This is Hakim calling from Lagos.
Please join the conversation, Mr. Hakim.
All right, yeah. Actually, I want to make a comment on this issue of Palestine and Israel.
Okay.
It's a very worrisome stuff that is going on. But then, let me quickly make reference to Nigeria. You see, Nigerians, whether we are Muslim or Christian, the truth of the matter is that both the Islam and the Christianity are imported to Nigeria. And so, And we have to be very careful, just like your analysts say, in the kind of comments we make and how we take the issue. That's one aside. Now, coming down to the issue of Israel and Palestine, if this thing has to do with history, and I've heard from even that, the truth of the matter, because I heard him saying that we should not side with one side. Not siding negatively, but the truth of the matter is that, see, if everybody wants to be biased, the fact is that the Palestinians have suffered so much in the hands of the Israelites, to the extent that apart from being colonized, because they are being colonized, that's just the part, that's just the language, they have been colonized, and then several Palestinians have been killed. You understand? I'm so sorry, they don't see them as people that want anything, because when they die, they are not. Even America, I could remember one of the journalists of Palestine, was it Sherry Catlin or whatever, she's a Christian, but she's a Palestinian. She was killed intentionally by an Israeli police or soldier. But at the end of the day, when America making the best, at first, Israelis, they did not agree that they were the one, but later on it was confirmed. But what did America do? Did they frustrate Israel? No. So the truth of the matter is that America has an interest in Israel, not because Israel is doing the right thing. Let us mark this. And then even look at the war in Russia and Ukraine. Russia has very strong points. You understand? Even though I don't encourage to other people to say, but Russia has a very strong point. The truth of the matter is that for this war to have peace, America must. Other nations must come together and win in America. Otherwise, these people, they will lead to the end of the world. I'm so sorry, but I have to say this. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Let's take another call. Hello, good morning. Okay, I think we lost that. Now, you heard the points he's also making, especially when it comes to the position of the United States. What's your take on that?
We have all said this. There is no United States without the Jews, and there is no Israel without United States. So it is not for me to comment about the rapport that have existed between Israel and the United States. But I should think the way it concerns me as an African, the way it concerns me as a Christian. And that is the statement I have made here, that we should treat the matter not as a religious matter, but as a land matter, a land dispute between two different countries of the same origin, two different people of the same origin. They are not Africans, they are Arabs, they are Jews, they are brothers and sisters. However, the fact that Israel had always taken such
landed the big blow,
a big blow that is very audible, that is very audible, does not mean that the little things that they do, the Palestinians do, does not count or does not matter. The small bottle they throw, the disruption of peace that takes place every day in the street of Gaza, in Israel, it all counts. But we must always be very careful in commenting on this matter, so that we don't reduce it to what it is not.
Of course.
Having said that, it is also important for us to appreciate the fact that Israel, in going to war, clearly stated the reason why they are going to war. The Prime Minister, Netanyahu, said, and every action he has been taking followed what he has said. He said every Hamas on the street should consider himself as a moving corpse. So what Israel is actually facing is not the Palestinians. It is the Hamas. You know, the Hamas is the Palestinian version of Islamic State of Iran and Syria, and also the Lebanese Hezbollah. All right. So they cooperate. They are terrorist group. There is no doubt about that. Non-state actors. They are chastising most states that are considered Arab. Fellow Muslims are being tortured by this group. It's just like what Boko Haram comes here to tell us in Nigeria, that they are Muslims. Yet the people they kidnap are Muslim. The mosques they destroy are Islamic mosques.
Are being worshipped in by Muslims.
All right. So what is the justification that we are sharing the same faith, that we are sharing the same background, that we are sharing the same culture, yet you don't respect me, you don't respect my faith? Who are those that are being destroyed in Zamfara? Are they Christians? Who are those that are capturing people in KB, in Sokoto, in Maiduguri? The other day, was it yesterday? Boko Haram had the effrontery to come into a custom building to kill and then to destroy.
All right, let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning. Could you please turn down the volume of your TV set or step away from it? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning
Good morning. You're welcome to the press. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Carlo. I'm calling from Crossroads to the Lovewalk.
All right, Mr. Kalu, join the conversation.
All right. I'm talking about our father there, who said he has never seen a situation where the Supreme Court want to hear a matter that is. I want to ask, what about the Imo State Governor, Hakim and the Supreme Court heard the case after appeal? Is it not the same thing, just the way we are experiencing here, that the Supreme Court will not hear the new Atiku is bringing in? That is the one I want to ask.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Noted.
Nice.
I want to respond to it before we move to the next question.
Yeah, I think it's nice that he's drawing our attention to this situation. What I didn't know, and I mustn't comment on what I don't know, is whether Uzodinma canvassed for this number of votes which he said he gathered that was not recorded or was not counted, whether he canvassed it at the tribunal, at the appeal court, before it reemerged at the Supreme Court. I don't know about that. But if he did, if he didn't, and then suddenly it surfaced at the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court admitted it in evidence, then let's hope that
they'll admit this one too.
The Atiku petition will sell through.
Let's take this call. This caller has been on the line for a while. Hello, good morning.
Beautiful morning to you, Alhassan. Mr. Francis, good morning.
Good morning,
SMD.
Good morning. You are also SMD from Lagos.
Please join the conversation.
Time will not permit me to go into details, but let me quickly respond to this issue.
Okay.
Critics to Joe Basu, that is the Assistant Secretary of United States Bureau of Africa, that can use global assets. I don't know, before your guest left the studio, what do you think we can do to analyze this? Because to my own personal opinion, I think now the teaming youth, the Nigerian teaming youth, don't even know their right from their left. But most of them are used into political thoughts. Most of us they were into drugs and so on and so forth. So what do you think we should do to realize this, that we are access to the global world, not only Africa or Nigeria? Thank you very much, SND from Lagos.
All right, thank you very much, SND.
Thank you very much. Very quickly before we...
I think there was a question there for him, even though the U.S. official says Nigerians are the most talented. So he's thinking Nigerians don't even know their left from their right. He wants to get your opinion.
Yeah, I agree with him. In 1999, when we returned from military to democracy, I began to understand that most Nigerians do not know how government functions, how government works, what the government owes to them and what they owe to their government. And then I began to campaign for what took place in Australia in 1983. Australians insisted that they want to know how government is run. And there is what they call Australian Parliamentary Pack. Now, this pack is distributed to students at the secondary school level. So they start getting the knowledge of how government function, how it works, how they can participate, and so on and so forth. Here in Nigeria, our legislators, of course, I belong to that constituency directly or indirectly, have not made effort to help Nigerians understand how the parliament works, how it's connected to the executive and all that. So I quite agree with the last caller. The ignorance is enormous, but that doesn't in any way reduce the fact that Nigerians are
global assets, of course, definitely.
All right, this will be a very long conversation, but let's see how we can do it in the next 2 minutes.
Okay.
Last night there was an allegation of an assassination attempt on the Kogi State government, which he has personally debunked this morning. But on a general note, let's take a look at the forthcoming gubernatorial elections in Kogi. Kogi is a state that is synonymous with electoral violence, no matter the level of the elections, either at the councillorship level, chairmanship level, or state house of assemblies, or the governorship. It's always marred by a considerable amount of violence. What are your expectations, and what are your expectations from the security forces moving on to the elections?
Well, when I read the news that a whole white lion was attacked, I didn't believe it was. I thought it was orchestrated by governors group, media group, in order to
gain some political points.
Yes, because it has been the SDP and their candidate that has been being chastised, traumatized, and it has been a recurring event. In fact, 2 days ago or so, they were also molested while returning from their
30-second
routine campaign. So I thought the intention of the Kogi State government handlers was to prove that, oh, this attack is not just
one side.
One side, though, it has also affected us. I thought that was what they were coming. Maybe they have looked at it and realized that it's not going to fly. They now come out and tell us that the governor was not attacked, and and I take that as the final answer.
All right, we just hope for the best as we look forward to the off-cycle elections in these 3 states. All right, thank you very much, Chairman, Lovewalk Media, Obadiah and Mbila. We really appreciate your time today in the studio.
It's my pleasure, and I
appreciate
you
very much again
you for having me.
Thank you. All right, viewers, thank you so much for your calls, and apologies if we couldn't take some of them. We hope you call again tomorrow. That's all. Draw the curtains on today's show. I am Olamide Alhassan.
And I am Francis Adeniyi. Do have a beautiful day ahead.